Hello. Well, okay. How would you like to produce your own tools, toys, articles of clothing, jewelry, foods, or even body parts from the comfortability of your own home? You may even produce complex machine parts for cars, airplanes, even create houses from the comfortability of your own living space and/or area. All is possible through the technology of three-dimensional printers. Three-dimensional printers are the future of how we shall manufacture anything we need, whether it be something as small as a nail or something as big as a skyscraper. Now you may be wondering, what does this have to do with me personally, or what may you be getting out of this information yourselves? Well, my specific field of study is within animation, both two and three-dimensional, but you don't have to be an animator to appreciate three-dimensional printing. For this way of additive manufacturing can be favored in all areas of expertise, even a medical one. Now, I have been studying additive manufacturing, or 3D printing, since my enrollment into Folsom University, and have been keeping up with the progress of the three-dimensional printers, from the first created three-dimensional printer made by Charles W. Hull in 1984 to the new and improved MakerBots here in 2014. So, first, we'll talk about we'll talk about what 3D printing is and how it's done, followed by how 3D printing can be used in just about all areas of expertise. Finally, we'll discuss the labor and economical benefits of three-dimensional printing. First, what is 3D printing? Three-dimensional printing, or additive manufacturing, is a process for making a three-dimensional or physical object from a three-dimensional and digital model or file. The creation of a 3D printed object is typically achieved using additive processes. In an additive process, an object is created by laying down successive layers of a material until the entire object is created. Now, how this is done in a little more detail. It all starts with a virtual model that is created using a 3D modeling software, such as Maya, Blender, ZBrush, etc. The model is often saved out as a simple file that would later be extracted from the computer and used by the printer to make the object. Or if you're not familiar with actually modeling your own designs, there is a 3D scanner method in which all you would have to do is place an object in the scanner and it will be scanned into the 3D modeling software and extracted for the printer. But before you extract the files, you must prepare the model and/or file for the printer by slicing it into hundreds or thousands of horizontal layers so that the printer can read every slice and proceed to create the object, blending each layer together, leaving no signs of the layering, thus making the three-dimensional object. Now that we know what 3D printing is and how it's done, how exactly does it benefit us? As I said earlier, 3D printers can be used in just about every area of expertise. This is because 3D printers can utilize many different materials that allow it to produce many different kinds of results. However, the most common material for 3D printers is a material called acrylonitrile butadiene citrine, which is really just a thermoplastic that is used to make all those things from toys and figures to even canoes, and so much more. Getting married and starting a loving family is often considered a part of the American dream. Well, even that can be improved with 3D printing. You can design your own patterns for your wedding rings to be cast in metal using the wax material that is also supported by 3D printers. Wedding rings or any other sort of jewelry. 3D printers can benefit the fashion industry as well by allowing people the freedom to design their own articles of clothing, the food industry by letting people design their own desserts, then using a certain material of their choice to make the treat out of it, the automobile industry by allowing professionals to design parts for cars or even an entire car. Planes, houses, practically anything can be built using these printers. You can even save lives by using skin cells as material to produce body parts and organs and bones and allow them to develop the necessary things to function as a normal part of the body. I wasn't really sure if I was supposed to work in a personal story, but if I am, I'll put it probably like around right here. Continuing. Now for the labor and economical portion of 3D printing. So far, I have only spoken of the good things about 3D printing. But what about the bad things, the consequences? What could it ultimately do to the economy? There are indeed some bad sides to 3D printing. It's almost like a double-edged sword. It stands to transform technology and society for the better, but ignore its potential negatives, negatives such as energy consumption. 3D printers are known to sap a lot of power. Unhealthy air emissions. The emissions for 3D printers are supposedly as bad as cigarette smoke and cooking gas, making them very unhealthy for the living area. The reliance upon plastic, LPS, and licensing deals. Gun control loopholes, responsibility of manufacturers, bioprinting, ethics and regulations. Possibility of 3D printed drugs, national security risk. These are all serious problems that come with 3D printing. While the more technical issues are currently being improved upon, it is also up to us to obey the law and ultimately be humble when using 3D printers. But the printers also come with great advantages as well, like obviously the manufacturing options, the rapid prototyping, whereas products can go from being just a design to an actual prototype being tested before release to the public. This is because of the incredible manufacturing speed that will be possible due to the 3D printing. Another advantage will be reduced cost. Even though the initial setup costs are higher, 3D printing will become cheaper than cheap labor in third world countries, and the cost of 3D printing is still decreasing. Other advantages are medical and warehousing. Some of the benefits it has upon the actual economy now. Well, as I mentioned, the capabilities of 3D printers or printing hardware are evolving rapidly by allowing companies to slash development time, eliminate tooling cost, and simplify production runs, while making it possible to create complex shapes and structures that weren't feasible before. Moreover, additive manufacturing would help companies improve the productivity of materials by eliminating the waste that occurs in traditional subtractive manufacturing, and would thus spur the formation of a beneficial circular economy. Okay. The economic implications of 3D printing are significant. McKinsey Global Institute research suggests that it could have an impact of up to $550 billion a year by 2025. And here we have discussed the most important points involved in three-dimensional printing and why it's important for us to possess knowledge of them. Again, three-dimensional printers are the future of how we shall manufacture practically anything we need, whether it be something as small as a nail or something as big as a skyscraper. Three-dimensional printing, or just additive manufacturing, can be our key to limitless possibilities. Remember, 3D printing is the future. Thank you.